up, ladies?
How y'all be?
Been good.
What's
Been
going
good.
on?
How are you?
Yeah.
I'm chilling. I got peace, love, and soul going on over here.
All right. I'm bringing the positive vibes of it all.
I don't think y'all can see me because I'm short. Never stop, Jesus. Never stop dreaming.
Right.
Listen, we need all the positive words we can get. We talk about this here Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Ooh, a whole mess.
I'm
Child.
talking about I am sick and tired of Martell.
Aren't we all?
I'm tired of him. I'm tired of Wanda.
Oh, God.
Y'all.
And Letitia.
I don't have it in me. I just don't have the mental, the emotional, the physical fortitude that it's going to take in order to deal with these people.
Oh, my God. The
And
ignorance.
I just don't understand. I think the thing for me, what really gets me is the thing that neither one of them, when you're talking about Martell and Wanda, I could say they're one and the same, but they're not.
They're not.
But they kind of have similar ideals of thinking that it's okay for them to be the way they are, but not okay for people to check them for being that way. And so I'm just, yeah. So you know how we do. First thing I always ask y'all, what's your rating for this episode?
You know what? I'm gonna go with about a 7 on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to say 6.
Okay.
I feel like there's going to be some more drama coming along, so I kind of want to hype myself up for the future drama.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with 6.
Okay. A 6 and a 7. Do you want to expound on that?
The only reason why I gave it the 7 was because I was so proud of how Kimmy handled a particular situation.
Okay.
So that's why I'm giving it that 7, because Kimmy is my girl.
Yep.
I love her.
If it wasn't for how she handled her situation, I probably wouldn't have given it that.
Mm-hmm. I can give you that. For me, I will actually give it. I will go with about a 6.5.
Okay.
Somewhere between. Because y'all know I'm like I be taking points away.
You a tough kid, cooking the crack, baby. You tough.
I would be one of those teachers that folks would be just sick of, like this heifer right here. Did she just do this again? Yeah.
Like, don't take Miss Brown's class. She gonna take you through hell and back.
Be like, that heifer right there don't never get no better. But I would be the best for most people because I think that you're gonna learn everything you need to learn with me. Yeah. But you're gonna get some harsh criticisms. And let me tell you why. I feel like I had so many disappointments in certain people. Mm-hmm. So like of course, we already know we're gonna be mad at Wanda. We already know we're gonna be mad at Martell. Like that's the given,
right?
But I also lost about 49 to 57% of respect for Maurice on this one. So,
okay,
yes. Right. Maurice is starting to really get into one of them categories, and I'm not gonna say what I called him because we're not gonna do this on the while I'm recording, but we can talk about it afterwards. How I feel about Maurice right now, because I'm slowly losing respect for Maurice. But anyway, but we'll get to it. So I mean, that's my assessment, and y'all gonna see why when we talk about it. Yeah. So let's talk about it. So this episode opens up with the pretty much finishing up the Kimmy's party, where you're seeing the escalation again of the confrontation between Martell and with Wanda, and them going back and forth when she was trying to corner Melody of all people and tell her, she was supporting her and she knows how she feels. So y'all know this particular piece of the show. Yeah, the show, because I was gonna say of life, but no, it's this particular piece. It's really complicated because you get somebody mama running after somebody else's child. You got this man that this woman don't even want food with running out trying to be her savior or whatever. Then you got the friend trying to diffuse everything. It was a lot happening.
Let me say this. I don't think he went out there to be her savior. I think he went out there to add to the mess. That's really what I feel.
Well, my thing with Martell is that he always feel like he's saving somebody.
He saved no one, because that conversation had nothing to do with Wanda leaving Melody alone. That conversation had something to do with Martell revving up. You talking about my kids? Da, 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 da. He didn't say leave Melody alone. Not one time did he say leave her alone, let her go. He was revving up about the kids. Yeah.
Oh, wait. Myra says he is a messy whore.
He is, girl. He is.
Yes. There you go, Myra. Agreed.
Yes, he is.
A messy whore. Listen, but she's right.
She's very right.
He is very messy. And it's sad because the problem is in his mind, he think that he is really doing something. He's still talking about my wife, this and that. Understand, on paper, yes, y'all are still.
Yeah,
I said what I said.
You know, he reminds me of a 10-year-old little girl. He feels that he has, if he wrong, and 9 times out of 10, he know he wrong.
Yeah.
But he gonna try to find a way to be right. But even with you trying to be right, you're digging such a deeper hole.
Very deep hole. Very deep hole.
Nothing makes sense. He's illogical. And it's just like, dude, I'm going to just need you to give up.
Yeah.
Right.
Let it go for today. And I think for me, the conversation. So, yeah, we already knew Wanda ain't had no business saying anything to Melody. That's number one. A given. Number two, he didn't have no business running after her,
he didn't.
Wanda. But then, and you look at all of it again, I feel like this was so that he could get closer to Melody, because he knew Melody wasn't gonna talk to him at all.
Melody wasn't gonna talk to him, and she wasn't trying to talk to Wanda either.
She didn't care what he gonna do. She don't care how you gonna eat. She don't care about nothing. She ain't. What did she say? If it ain't a check, I ain't checking for it. That's what she said. And so you have a whole lot of stuff happening here, right? Where he seems like he's protecting the honor of his family, but he's just making it all about him again. And then on the other side of it, Wanda ass is crazy. She's still running behind folks, still talking about, well, now I need to tell her this. She needs to know that I support her. But you
don't even like her.
You never supported her. You ain't never liked that girl. Like, stop.
You find every reason to chop her down, even though you have nothing valid to say. All you do is gossip. You want to put everything in the atmosphere that you heard, but you will never check to see the validity of anything you've heard. You just itching to get it out there.
Right.
Yeah. Wait, we can talk in cursive on here, can't we?
We can talk in cursive here. That's what we do. We talk in cursive
all the time.
First of all, let me just say, I feel like I'm rubbing off.
So you got a woman telling you to grow the fuck up.
Because so here's the thing. Wanda, from my understanding, is like 56 years old. Because Letitia's 30-something, 38, 39.
I know that they're like 16 years apart.
Okay. So at what point do we find ourselves some other aunties to hang out with? That's what I need to understand and know. Why you got to come to everything that this little girl had? Because she a little girl right now. Because you can't do nothing without your mama. I cannot. Right. I love my mama. Lord knows I do. She's not invited to everything that I had. She's not. My mama don't even want to hang out with me like that. She's not. Find you some aunties and some grannies to go hang out with, girl. You drove 2 hours to start some mess. Go ahead.
I'm 42. Crystal don't play with me. Crystal be like, okay, give me my grandkids. You gonna do what you gonna do because I'm not finna do this with you. I'm 42.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just how we're gonna do together.
But see, again, that's what happens when you grow up with your child and you make your child your emotional crutch and you don't have friends of your own and you're from a small town and everything is done together. And in some people's family, it's okay that you do that. But like, it's just like for me, let me tell you the difference between me and my sisters. I have 4 sisters. And all of us, at one point, I was the only sister that didn't have any daughters. I used to have only boys when everybody else was had 1 or 2 girls, or whatever. I had only boys. So I got used to us having sister days with no kids because it was all about all the girls being together. So they would bring their daughters and everything. So even now, I leave my daughters at home because they're young. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say I want to hang with my sisters, I don't want to hang with your kids. And even at this point, by us being, by me being, the youngest sister and everything, I know I'm significantly younger than everyone. That means that their kids are like, they were teenagers or young adults, even when I was a young adult. I'm 20 something. And they had like teenagers and stuff. But when I say I want to hang with my sisters, I want to fucking hang with my sisters. I don't want to see your kid at my event. So I am very clear about that. And I'm also very clear about tagging along the stuff that I don't know that I'm invited to. And so like, while I understand families tend to hang together, when you are extended family, you can't address and approach those situations like that. So no, I don't call my sisters and be like, well, Tamika having an event and I'm invited, so you coming along with me? No, I'm gonna pick up the phone and I'm gonna call and be like, hey, Tamika, is it okay if my sister comes along with you? Are you okay with that? I know you've never met her or anything like that, but I'm gonna clear it up and make sure that I have permission before I proceed, even though me and my sister hang great.
That's called common sense and courtesy. We ain't dealing with common sense because obviously in Bessemer, it ain't common.
It ain't common. Not at all. It definitely ain't a flower that grows in their gardens.
Baby, common sense ain't common.
That's not what they do. So there were a lot of issues just with this one particular part. You talking about this party has leaked into another episode.
Yep.
The fact that then when they come and sit down, but hold on, this is what really got me. When Kimmy went to talk to her mama after she done ran after Melody just to say, I done heard it in gossiping and they was telling, do you know what I'm talking about? She really wants the tea. It's good to have tea, but every time that just because you got it don't mean you need to spill it.
Absolutely.
And so the thing that got me about her, like she just wants to gossip. She want to get around people and gossip. But the other thing that I noticed is Letitia gets really, I'm playing with my lights, I'm sorry. Letitia gets really upset and almost jealous. And she goes, baby, out of her mind, she goes, Melody isn't innocent. I'm like, damn.
Are you talking about your situation or are you talking about the situation with her husband? Like, man, stop.
And now that means you're doing the same thing.
I have every problem in the world with that because she can never admit her wrong.
No.
Mm-hmm. I feel like she and Martell are bosom buddies.
Yep.
Specifically because he ain't never wrong, she ain't never wrong. He's a 10-year-old little girl, she a 10-year-old little girl. They refuse to grow up.
Twins, girl. They twins. What I have a problem with the most is you cry every opportunity you get about how good of a friend you were to Melody, and then Melody basically shitted on you. Basically, is basically what you're saying. If anybody, I don't care if I have beef with you, if we done fell out or whatever, I'm not going to say I'm never gonna share your business with nobody else. Number one. Number two, I'm not gonna say anything like she ain't innocent either. So basically, you're implying that she's done something to cause the marriage.
Still don't have any info on it. That's what kills me.
Yeah, you don't know anything about the situation and what's going on.
one of the things that I was just talking about earlier, I said Letitia requires the loyalty she'll never give.
Ooh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like she's always requiring this loyalty of friendship that she doesn't even have the capacity to give. And so I find that interesting about her that you always asking for something you can't yourself do.
You can't give.
She has a warped sense of reality.
She does. She absolutely does.
She has a warped sense of reality because the fact of the matter is, like we said last time, she's her mother's child.
Yep.
So you're small-minded.
Yeah.
You want to say that you're progressive because of who you married and what you now have access to. But you're not yet grown into that. You still let the girl back in Bessemer.
Right. You say you're not. Myra says you ain't that good of a friend if you sharing my business and all you have is to run in my face gossip.
Exactly.
But we automatically see this every time you see her talking. She got something slick that she needs to say about Mel. Now, if I'm done with you, I'm done with you.
Done, honey. Done. Over.
There's no reason for me to worry about it. Hey, how you doing? And go on about my business. But she, well, you know, Mel.
And I'm glad she paid her dust when they were sitting at the table and the girl invited her to the podcast. She said, I think everybody need to be at the podcast. Why not Melody? Melody said, I don't need the podcast. If I don't need that, I'm good.
Keep that little podcast, baby. Keep that little podcast.
Right.
Exactly.
She paid that girl dust, and I loved it. I was like, okay, yeah, girl, don't react to that mess.
Please, you know what? Because Melody at the point where she's just over all of it. She's like, y'all want to keep dwelling on that? Do that. All I know is I got a new house. I'm starting a new life. I'm trying to get what I got to get together. Y'all go ahead and sit in that because I'm done.
Right. Absolutely.
So and so what the other thing? So we still at this. Look at it. We 22 minutes and we still
at this day. We knew this was gonna take us a while because this was a mess, honey.
It was a whole mess.
It was
we still talking at the table where Kimmy is telling, basically everybody at the table is like, this was not the time and place for those conversations. Wanda, who then, this is what got me, y'all. Okay, so we got all this stuff going on. Destiny is looking like, I done tried to diffuse all this. Where were you to come get your mama? Here I am trying to break everything up. Right. And you just now coming out here. If you notice, Marceau sat tight. He went.
Then he gonna say, Then gonna say, what happened? Did Wanda eat everybody?
Right. Because then that was the other thing. Destiny goes to check in on Melody, and Melody like, I'm ready to go. Destiny like, man, if I had my purse, I'd be gone too. Melody was like, you know what? You can jump in this damn car. We come back later. Get your car.
Exactly.
That's such a me move.
Exactly. That's definitely something I would have done. I'm like, I got you. Let's ride.
Right. I'm pretty sure she probably called Martell and was like, hey, can you get my purse or whatever? And then we can come get my car later. Because Melody don't have a problem with the two of them still being friends.
Well, they were friends prior to him and Melody being married. Yeah. They were friends prior to him and Melody being married. So,
so that's what I think I like about that. Destiny's still not my favorite. Let me just say that. Mm-hmm. But I can see where her role is this portion of this season, because she seems to be the go-between for the two of them, and then also kind of trying to see her, build her relationship with the other ladies, even though she playing a very dangerous game with Kimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna need her to stop playing that game. Yeah. Kimmy gonna shut you down real quick. She already did, and all she was doing was, hey, bro, I really don't know you. I know you. Right. Man makes chicken. That's all I know. And the chicken was good.
The chicken dude.
Right. That's it.
Okay. That's all I know. Chicken
dude. Exactly. I think the one thing that I can say that I do admire for her for right now is she is not with the shits with Martell.
Right.
She's checking him left and right. She like, dude, even if she did what you saying she did, two wrongs don't make a right. When you gonna grow up? Why we tip?
Right.
Are you grown? Are you a man? What we doing?
Are you a man or a man?
I like that about her. And it's not even that she's saying that, okay, if she did, so what? It's just, are you a leader, or are you playing follow the leader?
Yeah. And she holds him to a certain. The other thing that I've always noticed between them in the past few episodes is that he think he can escalate an argument with her, and she shuts him all the way down in such a way that he can't even come back, because he'd be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in the car.
So that's the one thing that I do like about her, because she ain't going. She ain't playing with him at all.
Yep. And she ain't scared to say the things that other people, you know, they can go toe to toe, and that's fine. And she be like, and at the end of the day, this is what I'm gonna tell you.
Exactly.
So I think I do like that about her. Like I said, I'm still gonna be, you know, I'm just whatever about this, but you know, yeah. So so let's move on and let's talk about, okay, now let's go back to this conversation between Kimmy and Wanda. And you know, when somebody done pissed you off to the point that you leave your own event.
That girl carried that cake out there.
She's like, you know what? You right. I can't tell you what to say, but I sure can tell myself what to do.
And we gonna go home and eat this cake.
But my thing that gets me is Wanda sits down, and then Letitia almost seems like she wants everybody to apologize to Wanda for her behavior.
She does.
The thing that gets me is that Wanda still is poking at Martell. I heard you got a baby underway.
And I mean, our Kimmy is like, this is not the place for this conversation.
This is about
child. That's what we're here for. You weren't even invited.
Right.
So the least you can do is keep your mouth closed until we had one of your cheering events. You know.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Like, she has no concept of just tact.
No.
She doesn't have any tact. And I do not like that. Like, to me, I don't like grown folk who think that they can command and demand respect in ways that they haven't earned it. So, like, you want people to respect you as the matriarch, basically, of the group. I didn't invite you to my group outing. That's number one. Number two, I did not want you here. Let's go back to that. Number three, I don't respect you as my elder.
Because you're not.
And let's add this. Don't nobody else mama come around uninvited.
Does not. Nope.
When everybody else mama come around, they speak in turn.
Yep.
They direct their conversation to their respective child.
Yeah.
But she go all up in everybody's face. Just like she gets mad at Kimmy, and you down with the host. And I'm like, you know, I wouldn't want my mama to represent me like that.
Letitia, you know what I'm saying? Nothing wrong with it.
I would be so upset, because it's one thing you keep talking about, I had a conversation with my mama, but really, if my mama was disrespecting all of my friends and acquaintances, people that I tend to be around socially, and she's always got something negative to say, you can't be around them anymore.
Right.
Now, I can't do nothing about you being my mama, but I can do something about you being around the people that I'm around.
Absolutely. But see, she goes as far as to invite her, and that's the problem.
Right.
It ain't that I just so happen to tell you and you just show up. No, come on, mama, come with me to this. Come on over here to that. Come on, mama, come with me. No, baby.
I would just solve all of that, because now you can't come.
Yep.
Show up, please. I want you to.
Please show up.
You better walk in.
And then I felt bad for her when she showed up to Melody's event, and Melody had her escorted out.
I didn't.
Now I probably do the same. So
I didn't feel bad for her, because that wasn't the time or the place. You have a one-on-one. You don't just show up at my event that you didn't get an invitation for.
No, it's an event.
An event. To your event, what, girl? I tried real hard. That intro got me, God.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't do it. So, whew.
Awful. Very often.
There are things that so moving from that thing, because Kimmy said, you know what, we out of here. Y'all can talk to yourselves. She also says uninvited guests are uninvited for a reason.
That's right.
And so they go ahead and leave. Kimmy, Maurice, and baby leave. Now, this is why I say I lost respect for Maurice. I wish I would be sitting next to my husband. It's something like this that's going on and it's continuing to go on, and he's sitting up there trying to hold the legal eagle look on his face while all this is transpiring. At some point, because Marceau tried, he was like, "Hey, get your mama, whatever, blah blah." But he already know how that's gonna go. But for me, I think, especially by it being the event that it was, he should have stood up and just said something.
Absolutely. I was waiting on
He ain't gotta say everything. He ain't gotta be rude about it, and he ain't gotta be all crazy. But it's something about when you stand up on your wife's behalf to say, you know what, I think we've had enough. And I don't lean into, let me just say this too, I don't lean into the men have to be the ones that the gatekeepers for things like that.
But he shouldn't have let that go on. That shouldn't have went past.
It would be the other way around too, because I'm gonna always stand up for the people around me.
Exactly.
So I just expected that he would have said something, and maybe he did, and they edited it out, but it didn't look like he said much of anything.
No, because I think he was more so trained on, well, they doing that, so I'm gonna sit here with whatever the boy name is. I can't even think of Kimmy's son's name. But when it started to
escalate,
that was his opening right there. Because yes, we're very well aware of the fact that Kimmy can hold her own. That doesn't have to be discussed. However, when you see her getting to the point of frustration as she did, bro, what you doing?
Yeah,
right.
United Front is always a really good way to handle anything. United Front takes care of a whole lot
of stuff, because you're not gonna be able to come over here with this man.
Because neither one of us going for it. So just understand, neither one of us going for that. When you have a United Front, it just kind of diffuses a lot of things. So I just have an issue with that. So we move on. Let's go on over here to this darn. So Marceau goes to check up on Kimmy because he like, I know how my mother-in-law can be. Who child? So let me go ahead and see what's going on. So they go back and forth and they talk, and she says, I feel like there are behaviors that she has that no one seems to check.
Nobody checks.
A lot of things that she does goes unchecked. And so he says, I think you give her too much energy. Now, this is where I disagree. Because I shouldn't have to pick and choose to give you energy when I didn't invite you to my event. So you're going to get all of my negative energy because you're someone that's uninvited, that showed up some. And I intentionally did not invite you because I knew you were with the shit.
Right. And the thing about that too is Kimmy actually tries to maintain her distance.
Yep.
But Wanda being who she is, she runs after her. So anything that Kimmy gives her is because it was brought to her. So if you don't want me to bring you any type of energy, stop bringing yourself in my presence. But all this is avoidable.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's crazy because I think that what gets me again is I think everybody wants Kimmy to be more understanding. I think she's been as understanding as she's gonna be. How much more do you have to bend until you break?
What is there to understand about a old helper who need her own friends?
Yeah,
I need to understand what is there to understand.
She needs to go find Miss Charlene or somebody.
Charlene, Mama D.
Because my whole thing is you are traveling from your town to come here to go to an event you didn't receive an invite to. So what is the problem? Well, why do you think this is okay? So, again, so they have a conversation and Kimmy mentions that. Okay, so here's the thing. there are going to be events that, you know, I'm not necessarily saying she's banned from everything, because they talk about, you know, her, you know, Wanda just showing up and stuff. I'm not saying that she's banned, but there should be events I should be able to pick and choose for her to come to, you know, especially knowing that there, you know, people that she doesn't get along with and things like that. I should be able to do that.
But that means Wanda's gonna have to stay home because don't nobody get along. No, it's not even that nobody gets along with her. She doesn't get along with anybody.
Anybody. Right. She'll pick somebody to not get along with. That's what kills me. She'll go out of her way and be like, you know what? I don't like you today. And so Wanda, and Marcel talk again, and he's like, well, okay, so does that mean you're sanctioning her from events? And she goes, well, not really. And I'm like, that kind of sounds like a sanction to me.
But for real. But for real, real talk.
I mean, it's almost kind of like the definition of sanctioning. But anyway, so he's like, you know, are you going to tell her? And she said, I don't think I'm the right person to be able to communicate that to her. And he says, I tell you what, how about I do it? I will talk to her and Kimmy because, you know, I got a way with words. And she's like, all right, cool. I'm going to let you handle it. So I think that at this point, Marceau was trying to be a peacemaker. I think he also felt like he is equipped to handle both of them. That mama and really might as well call them sisters. That sister group, because he has to deal with them more often than I'm pretty sure that he's willing to admit. And so, you know, I don't know what it's going to take for them to understand that, like, number one, you're not part of their marital unit. You're not their business. Number two, you and your daughter are not friends. I mean, you could be friendly, but y'all are not, you know, she can't speak for you, and you definitely shouldn't be speaking for her to anyone. But they have boundary issues. So maybe he, you know, maybe at that point he felt like since he's been dealing with them, then he can be the one to deal with them. So, you know, and we'll see what happens. But tell me y'all's assessment of that conversation with Marceau and Kimmy.
I think he felt obligated to do it in a sense, one, because that is his sister-in-law. And then on the flip side, that's his mother-in-law and his wife. So it was like, okay, let me try to mediate this as best I can, because at the end of the day, we're still family. And either way it go, I'll be put in it anyway, because I'm married to these folks, you know. So I think he felt like it was his obligation to do it. But of course, because who Wanda is, he already knew it wasn't going to be received. But couldn't nobody say, well, you didn't try.
Right.
And I'm sorry, y'all. Dinner is going on around here. I apologize.
Girl, don't worry about it. That's why they made mics and the avatar, so that you can just do that.
So I'm glad he stood up to say, hey, I'm gonna handle this. I do, because right now Kimmy's relationship with Wanda is volatile, because Kimmy gonna go upside her head and not be all for it if she do.
Real talk.
And then at this point, I feel like Kimmy won't slap Letitia too, because Letitia's allowing it, and then she's gonna have to deal with another, you ain't loyal to me, that type of conversation, just because I don't want your mommy in my events when I am not related to your mother. Right. I'm married to your husband's brother. That's you and your husband's headache to deal with. I should not be obligated to deal with said headache.
Right.
Well, the way my attitude set up, even if you are related to me, if I don't want to be bothered with you.
Right.
That's like Martell say, why she ain't babysitting her grandkids.
Right. I mean, at this point, Miss Wanda, that's what you need to be doing. You need to be with the cheering, babysitting. You don't need to be doing this. I just feel like it was the right call for him to do that. I don't think that anybody else could have had that conversation with Now, whether or not they're gonna listen to him, that's a whole nother ball game. But I think they would be more receptive to listening to him than anybody else.
Okay.
And so that wasn't that was not a conversation that Kimmy needed to have with Letitia or with Wanda. At all, period.
Right, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Okay. So let's move on to so Destiny, what we see is she's talking to her event planner. They're talking about doing this get out the vote Halloween party. Thank you. And they but I didn't ask you watch. And so my watch talking to me and I didn't ask it to. So she and Martell are talking. Martell kind of comes up and he's, kind of apologizing for his behavior. And she was like, "What? An apology from Martell? What?" We already know that those are few and far between when it comes to him because he never feels like he's right. But I guess he felt obligated to do it because he kind of got her in the middle of things. And she like, well, yeah, I had to push you back because, I couldn't be pushing Wanda back. But you still wouldn't back up either. So, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with, dude. So they go back and forth how they're talking about, he really has to stop allowing people to take him way out of character and knowing that certain people just do that to him. You don't have to respond or react to everything that you hear. So she said, and it was funny because she was like, so Michelle Obama says what when we go low, he goes, yeah, but I ain't ready for that yet. So, like, that was a real response, and I can appreciate somebody say, you know what, I ain't even ready to be that kind of person yet. I ain't ready to be that person. I can respect that. Just say, be honest about yours, and I can respect it. But I also felt like she told him, what you do now can erase what you've done in the past. In other words, change your behavior so people won't keep holding what you did in the past against you.
Over your head.
Doing the same shit.
Over and over and over again.
Let me say this. I don't think he ever stopped. You carried on a 5-year relationship. This girl just had this baby in December. You never stopped. You pretended to stop, but you never stopped.
I think
they over and over is you never stopped.
I think they had breaks, and I think it was her, the ex, the mistress. I think they had several breaks when things were getting too hot, where it was a lot of attention on her and maybe her family and everything. But I don't think that. I think he never stopped, but I think she definitely maybe. I feel like.
Let me say this. I read an article that she did when she was talking about, and I know y'all saw that post I sent y'all earlier. But there was an article that I was reading, and she was saying they did have breaks. She said, I would move, I would change my number, I would tell him, I don't want to fool with you no more. How this man ended up finding her, I'm not sure. Kind of like she's kind of trying to pay him to be like a little stalker type dude. Like everywhere I go, he popped up.
But the way he acts, that ain't hard to believe.
It's not hard to believe. It's not.
Because look at what he did to Melody. He started popping up at her new house, and he doesn't have to come to her house.
Yep.
So this is the thing about a guy like Martell. Martell wants what he wants. He ain't gonna stop until he get it.
Right.
And he can't hear the word no. And for some reason, like, this is the thing, y'all. Just red flag alert. I wish I had a little sign that said red flag alert. I think women feel like they like it's flattering when a guy say, I don't stop until I get what I want.
I don't think that's flattering.
And I absolutely believe that's a red flag every time I hear it.
I've watched one too many Lifetime movies. I know how it ends.
You're just here to conquer. So once you conquer it, then you're ready to move on because now you don't have anything left to achieve.
Right. And so for me, when somebody's like that, you should run for the hills because, at what cost do you
Right.
get what you want? You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so at what cost are you willing to pay? And at what cost are you going to make me pay to
Right.
get
That
what
phone
you want?
snap. Or what's that show on BET for my man?
Oh, my man,
Girl,
we're going to be
that's
on
on TV One because I ain't got it no more. I love that show. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So you got somebody like him that everybody's telling him, nobody believes that you're a bad father. Nobody says that. Nobody thinks that, we know that you have some good qualities about you. You're a hard worker, you're a go-getter, and sometimes you might be handsome depending on who's talking about you. But you gotta start understanding that just because you may have all these things on paper does not make you automatically a desirable human for somebody else. And no matter how much money you throwing at them, no matter how much you laying it down or whatever you call yourself doing, that's not enough. That's not
almost
Not at all.
think he ain't good at that.
and that's the problem. You know what?
I said, I'm almost inclined to think he really ain't good at that.
You know what?
Child.
You had to take a drink.
Child.
Me too.
Let me sip on this
What
wine.
I say about that is here's a behavior I noticed. Again, we're talking about the sexuality coach. I've noticed in my practice,
Not in your practice.
guys in my practice,
Come
they
on, sexuality coach.
claim to be hypersexual to a point where it's almost weird. A little bit, you might need to go and start talking to somebody with an IATR in their title so that they can prescribe you something, because I can only coach you so far. Once they start talking to me like that, I go, when's the last time you seen a psychiatrist? Okay, so let me give you a couple of resources and go ahead and send you to them, because I know then that they have built something up in their head. And it's always somebody else's fault because they have this thing of thinking, well, I'm so great, I'm so good, she's supposed to be hanging out for me. And they realize that person ain't, checking for them after one or two times. And it's like, okay, so it's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't me, it's you. And so then it's like, well, I ain't never had this problem with anybody else. Well, they just didn't tell you. Why didn't they call you back?
And you see, the biggest thing that he ever complained about was she won't do that thing for me.
And you know why?
Well, it's probably a reason why she won't do that thing for you. First of all, you serving it up to the community. Secondly, it could have been your approach. She might have tried it, but it might have been your approach in the way you brought it to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's clear he don't know how to talk to folks.
Right.
Girl, he shows he don't know how to talk to folk at all.
He the thing about it is, because they keep talking about all these things that he is, charming ain't the thing on, like, when you're talking about a scale of 1 to 10 or anything, there's nothing charming that comes out of his mouth.
How you get the women that you have gotten is
he got Melody because they met in college. And so she was just willing, she could deal with him like same way with Destiny. Destiny you could tell Destiny ain't never been attracted to him. You could tell the way she talked to him that she treats him like a sibling. Like, that's impressive. So so that was one of the reasons why he and Destiny are really good friends, because she ain't studying you. Melody probably got to know who he was before the money.
Exactly.
And so he probably was way more humble, and he might have had 1 or 2 girls, but it wasn't to the degree that now he can have anybody he wants because he got the money to back it.
And she pointed to that because she was like, dude, I was with you when you was raggedy. I was with you before you got your teeth fixed. I was with you when you had hair. I was with you
and that line was receding.
And I loved your dirty draws.
Right.
And now that we have it, you wilding out and you acting a fool and you acting like I can't do better, because even though I got 4 of your babies, I'm still male.
Right.
Still fan as hell. Mel is still smart.
Right.
Mel can still do what she needs to do to make sure her and these babies are taken care of.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna have to sit here with you in the middle of your shit.
Right. I've done enough. This is where I get off. Have a nice life. And that's all she has for him. So, you know, and that's why I said the two women, like his mama done told him, boy, you ain't shit. Destiny done told him you ain't shit. Melody
Everybody keeps telling him. The
was that therapist that he had that I was side eyeing because I was like, you still ain't got to the bottom of things with him, but whatever. You know, y'all can blame everybody else, but you still ain't blamed him for his stuff.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, that's his stuff. So anyway, what I found that was funny, he said something about women need to be in their role. If they was in their role, now y'all want to get paid as much as me. And I'm like, oh, you real? You worse of a chauvinist than myself.
He showed all his colors, baby.
And then when Destiny said, so what is my role as a wife? Well, you ain't been married long enough. You don't understand. So, but what is it? Help me get there. Go ask your husband. But you just said we ain't been married long enough.
Exactly. So that means you understand.
And that's the thing he can't stand about her is because she gonna take his words, use them against her, use it against him, and be like, yeah, but you said this, so let me run this back. You just
right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's the problem with that. But anyway, he gave his little apology. She told him just come on, bring your little butt to this little Halloween party and sit down somewhere.
Right.
What would y'all like to add to that? Okay.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing to add to this. She on his ish as she should have. I like it. Everybody keep telling him he believe it.
Ain't that the truth?
I'm just saying.
All right. Well, then we're gonna move on to Marcel and Letitia's conversation, which seems so. You know how we always talk about Latrice and
her crazy husband.
And how he talks to her in a parental manner.
What's his name? Uncle Clifford. I mean Cliff.
Yeah. You might well call him Uncle Clifford.
Uncle Clifford.
I like the pink.
Well, hold on now. Don't get on my Uncle Clifford now. That's
for him every day.
Uncle Clifford is my boy. It ain't no crying at the pink. You heard me?
Well, you might have a little Uncle Clifford in him though. But,
I knew it was Cliff, but Uncle Clifford came out.
Get off my boy. Get off my boy. That's my boy.
That's funny. You might need to go talk to Uncle Clifford himself. But anyway. So Letitia and Marceau are talking in there. They're having a little conversation. She wants to know what's going on with what's they call it, Scott Manor. And then she brings up this girl gonna bring up that she would like a suite or something in the basement for her mama in their new house. And he said, we got 10 acres.
I can build a cottage. On the other end.
A little cottage.
On the other end.
Children and
acres.
I'm like, you just call her the evil witch of Hansel and Gretel?
Because she is. Because I agree, Marceau. I agree.
I'm going to just say, don't be talking about that witch in Hansel and Gretel. Don't do that. But anyway, then they started talking about, you know, the whole event that happened. And he was talking about how she tends to be inappropriate when it comes to inviting her mama to events, and you mad at everybody else for overlooking, you know, for not overlooking what you've been overlooking, and you spending most of your life, you're gonna spend most of your life apologizing for your mama. Mm-hmm. So what you gonna do about it? So you mad at everybody, and the common denominator about who everybody being mad at you, you being mad at them, is your mama.
That part right there.
Yep. And she still didn't hear a word that he said.
She can't hear it.
And I was actually commending him for having that conversation with her.
Right. Because, he said he would. Hold on.
Yeah.
We got a comment. Put her house at the end of the driveway.
And he got it at the driveway because I was like, put her at the end.
I was like on the other end of the acres.
I said put her deep into the forest.
Exactly. I'm like, put it at the other end of them acres. Put a barbed wire fence around them acres and then put her house out there.
Put a moat around your house. Make it a maze to get from your house to her, so she had to figure out which way to go to get there. And don't give her the directions. Make her figure out which one of these way and switch it up some kind of way every time.
I'm all for respecting mamas, but that woman oversteps every time. And
let me tell you something. Can't nobody mama live here.
So your mama can't live with us.
Nobody.
If we was cool, there might be a different ball game. But not only are we not cool, she ain't cool with nobody else we hang out with.
Right.
She can't come live here.
You can't offend everybody that I know.
I think that she offended everybody
in God gave me directions. She cannot.
I think she can't stay where she lived because she done fell out of everybody in that little town.
Right.
You're like, going on now.
And her separated husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, she got a boyfriend and a husband.
Yeah, I'm single.
And she's still my thing. That don't keep you busy.
Yeah, I'm single.
How? You got a husband and a boyfriend. You ain't busy enough?
Apparently not.
Well, she need another boyfriend.
She find a new boyfriend because that boyfriend ain't keeping her occupied enough.
Somebody please find this woman 2-3 more boyfriends so she can have things to do. She need us.
How you looking? Bring me one.
I don't want nobody that Miss Wanda refers though. I don't want nobody.
Not at all.
I imagine she got somebody worse than Cliff over there
Right. So the thing that he was asking her, so she goes, if Kimmy has an issue with me or my mom, she can call me. And he's like, but didn't y'all have this conversation before? Well, she said we were good. And he said, okay, so is what your mom doing out of character for her? She goes, no.
Ma'am.
Why are we having this conversation? Your mama always act like this. This isn't new. So his thing was, is this surprising that she acts this way? And if it's not surprising to you, then why do you think everybody else wants to put up with the way your mama act?
Exactly.
This ain't normal.
Well, I always bring my mom. She's family. And see, my thing is that's your problem right there.
I'm like, that's your family.
That's your family.
We can adopt her into our family. She your family. So she can stay over there with you. If you having any events, then you can have her at your event. Okay.
And that's it. And because think about this. Once he said, Kimmy has sanctioned your mom from further events, and then that's fine. I'm not gonna go to Kimmy stuff. She went into a full-on temper tantrum tirade.
The 10-year-old
showed all the way up. And, I'm like, they can't be in the same space. Why would you want that for yourself? Why would you want that for things that you do? I just don't understand why you would want that type of drama every time you go somewhere. You got this foolishness that's happening. You got all this stuff. You constantly apologizing for a grown-ass woman who obviously think what she does is okay. It's no way. I'm going to tell you. I had a couple of family get-togethers here. I don't have a lot of stuff in my house.
I know. That's why I'm shocked.
Yeah, that was early on. That was like when we first moved in.
Oh, okay.
I invited some family members, and they brought accompaniments because I'm a hey, you can come over. You can come over. I don't send mass texts. I don't send mass emails. I talk directly to people. I tell you who can come. I had a relative bring these and these and these over. And I went up to my bonus room and I saw all these grown ass people in my children's bonus room who took over. At the time, my kids were little and they took over the bonus room. Told them they couldn't play their games, move. I said, oh, y'all asses can go.
They did what now?
They took their games, told them to move. So I'm looking for my babies. They back in their room. They upset because they can't play their game.
I had to go.
Their house.
Get to stepping.
I had air.
Everybody can go. And I'm going to hold the door for you while you walk out. And I'm not going to be apologetic because I did not tell you, first of all, who told you to bring all these people. And then secondly, who are they? Because they ain't even your kids. So who the hell is these people in my house?
Mm-mm.
That was one and done. One and done. You can't come over no more.
That's why my dream home is going to be in the country. Okay, where you got to think twice before you pull out your driveway and drive 45 minutes to an hour to get to my house. You got to think about that. You know, do I really want to take this drive? Because guess what? If you take the drive and you knock on my door and you ain't invited, guess what? I'm probably not going to open the door. I'm just keeping it real. I like my peace.
That's what I was going to say. I can be in the middle of the city, honey. I don't care. If I did not say, come over here, or if you did not call and say, hey, I'm in the neighborhood, do you mind? I ain't got to be in the country. I can be next door to you.
Oh, I'm going to be in the country because I got folk in my life that will still show up at my house.
Ask my people how many times they have been at my door and called me when they pull in the driveway, and I just be like, okay. They be like, I'm over here. Okay.
What you want me to do?
Don't play them kind of games. You don't have pop-up privileges. If you have keys to my house, then that means you're invited anytime. If you don't have keys to my house,
you call for you go.
If you don't call and I say yes, come over, and you on my porch ringing my bell, I'm gonna let you see me looking at you.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like this whole thing, this whole gatekeeping is bothering me. Child. Anyway. So that was that conversation. And the sad part about it is I feel like, so this is what I feel like Marceau, you know, and we always say Marceau is an asshole. We know this.
He is.
He's a chauvinist.
He is.
But I wonder how tired he gets to have to parent his spouse. See, the difference between Latrice and that thing that she married to is that he wants it with her.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Marceau gets tired of being the parent.
He gets tired.
That's why I gave Marceau a pass. He need a girlfriend because he needs some kind of peace. It's okay if Marceau have a girlfriend.
He probably got one.
He got my permission.
He giving how passes.
He got my permission.
You got, because let me tell you something. He one episode away from a Lifetime original movie, girl. The way that girl be taking him through. I ain't never in my life. And the man said, hey, baby, calm down. Come sit right here. Come here. Come sit down. Come all the way down because I see what you're doing and we need to reel it back. He said, come on, calm down.
Yeah.
You know.
I was proud of him in that moment.
I was so proud of him. He said, just sit down and come on. Just come on. Because she started crying.
Girlfriend.
But here's the thing. I wouldn't give that energy because that's her MO as well. She always pouts and cries because she always go, you never on my side when. But
because you're wrong. Because you always wrong.
She's everything that he checks her on a lot of times because she was wrong. I hadn't seen too many times other than when she really wanted to do be a realtor or whatever. Where he was, really calling her out and it wasn't anything wrong. But, she was pouting. He tried to get her to calm down because she feels like everybody's beating up on her. But he also, because she was like, well, I'm just done with Kimmy. I'm tired of giving folk my loyalty. I'm like, you ain't never been loyal because we see how you act. You're not loyal. But he told her, don't make a permanent decision with temporary issues.
Yeah.
And also, if you thought that Mel was worth giving, all these different chances, as she says, then Kimmy is worth it, don't you think? Because, y'all y'all friends, but you know, this whole she gonna have to redefine what it's like to be a sister, a friend, or whatever. I don't agree with my sisters all the time.
I don't either. I get mad at mine at least once every other week if we talk.
I'm talking about
And I love her. I do. We you know, we homies, but she be doing, I be like, you know what, bye. I ain't finna do this with you.
Girl, we would text each other in the group text with all 5 of us, and then maybe 2 of us might text each other about something that one of the 5 said, and then the other 2, you know, everybody have some conversation. Yeah. That is life. That is what sisters do. I'm like, you don't understand how sisters work. We can cuss each other out, and we still going out for pizza.
Exactly.
You know, you learn that you're not gonna see eye to eye on everything.
No, you're not.
Everything, and you're gonna, you know, that's what it is. You may have disagreements and everything, but you'll come back to each other and y'all be okay. If you keep holding it like that, you'll never be friends with anybody.
Never, not at all.
I'm like, look,
and this girl in the sorority,
we all crazy.
This girl in the sorority, I said, I bet you fell out with everybody.
Do you think she active though?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I would like to think she is. I would like to think her husband is.
I don't know. And I'll back off of this in a minute, but I'm gonna just say some people join sororities so they can have the letters. So okay, let me go ahead.
I got you.
Move on.
I got you. And let me also say this about the sorority thing real quick. I need people to understand when people pledge, and I am not a member of the sorority, so I'm gonna put that out there right now.
Go ahead, let me go ahead. When people join sorority.
I'm sorry. When people join sororities, correct me, girl, because I ain't never did it. Listen, just because you have joined a sorority or a fraternity does not mean y'all are gonna be the best of friends, sisters. But yeah, you got line sisters, you got that. I done seen my friends and been line sisters that done turned on each other. Listen, they people at the end of the day. Sorority ain't gonna try, because somebody was in one of the groups and they was talking about, well, Mel and Letitia should be better than that, because they in the same sorority. Were they line sisters? Like, what? I mean, what are you? I said, even if they were line sisters, it don't matter.
It's gonna be cool all the time,
right? That's not how it happens. That's not how that works.
At the end of the day, you're part of an organization that's a sisterhood. That doesn't mean that everyone treats everyone sisterly.
Right.
So that's a thing about who you are as a person. That's a character thing. That has nothing to do with, you know, sorority or any other organization.
Making that point.
Because if you treat me like shit, I don't care what you wearing. I'm going to also give you that same energy back. It's just that simple. Absolutely. But yes, I will acknowledge you as being part of my sorority, but that doesn't entitle you to being in, you know, part of anything that I do. We didn't come in together. We just really met. What they say about 5-6 years ago is really when all of them kind of started coming together. I don't owe you anything.
Nothing.
I don't even want to I ain't even got to take a picture with you. So no, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, before Heather and I are in the same sorority. Before we were in our sorority, guess what we were? Women. After we joined our sorority, we're still women.
At the end of the day.
And that's all it comes down to.
That's all it is. So let's look over here at Mel is back in Atlanta with her brother. Baby, she brought that wig too. And I'ma just say she was winning for a long time.
Don't do that no more, Mel, girl. I love you. Please don't do that never again. Don't you ever. Whoever made that for you, they fired. They need to be fired. Okay?
Y'all see,
I saw it took you all the way out. Y'all look at it.
I was like, oh my God. This is a Tyler Perry wig.
I don't know if they're. I'm not a wig connoisseur. I don't know nothing about wigs other than you put them on your head. But if it came braided like that,
and I've seen some braid wigs.
I feel bad.
A lot of the ladies, like on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I be like, oh, they got their hair braided this the whole damn week, and I don't be knowing it. That right there, she don't need to never do that no more.
I want that wig to just leave.
I need her to donate that wig to nothing. Throw it away in the garbage. Don't you ever do that again. And I know y'all we was in the middle of the panorama when all this was going on. True. However,
I just feel like
your homegirl owned a whole hair store. You mean tell me y'all couldn't come together and come up with something better than that thing that was on your head? That was awful.
Is she? I will say she is one of the ones that is daring. She will try something at least once. I thought she had a wig line as well too.
I don't know. I know about the skincare, but I don't know about the wig line. I
want to say she had wigs too, but whatever. Anyway, so she and her brother are having a conversation, and she's sharing that they're coming into a place where they're having issues with custody. It's just a lot going on. And she was saying of all the things she felt like they would be fighting over, custody and visitation, whoever has a child for the weekend. She never thought that would be one of the things that they
would be fighting
over because, again, one thing she's never not said, she's always said that he was a good father.
Yeah.
So now that a lot of things are happening, she was like, things are being said when he has them. She mentions that, he tells the kids that the uncle has likes boys and things like that. And so she's had to address that.
And I feel like they already knew that. Because I don't have
it was, a lot of times when you grow up around it and it's not necessarily explained, it's just your normal, and especially with little kids, they just see
Uncle Troy and Uncle whatever his
yeah. And
Uncle Marcus.
People just don't talk about it because it's not necessarily a big deal. So I can see it being problematic that he's going to tell the kids, and I don't think the kid's going to be making this up, that he says, well, he like boys.
Absolutely not.
And so, you don't have to be that kind of a person when you're going through a disagreement or a disillusion of your marriage. Leave your kids out of it. As much as he wanted everybody else to leave his kids out of stuff, he didn't have to share that with them in that way. That wasn't the time or place, and it didn't give the brother an opportunity to really discuss that with those kids. And I think that that's a missed opportunity for them to have another like family gathering and really understand what that means. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that just wasn't okay, because in that moment, he was teaching his children how to become biased and judgmental.
Right.
That's not okay.
Yeah, because he said, and we'll talk about it about the party, but he was talking about, you just been in her life. You ain't even been in her life this whole time. So, I mean, I guess that means that I don't know how long the brother has been around, but my thing is he's been around long enough that, the kids know him. That they've been in his house.
Because he was at the wedding. Unless, somebody had an extramarital affair or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the brother checking him the last time?
Last season. Yep.
He was checking him. That's her brother. Like, stop. Don't do that.
Yeah, because he was bringing up that he wasn't around. He ain't been around long enough and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, Martell doesn't like when men check him. Y'all can see that.
Yeah.
He becomes very confrontational in a different kind of way.
Right.
He does when women check him for the same behavior, because he ain't gonna puff up too much against another man. Anyway, she's at this point where she says, I think I'm gonna go for full custody because I don't need this in my life. I don't like the way basically he's poisoning our children.
Right.
He's not being very fair anyway. And so the brother looks like he's having an issue too. You can tell he's a little upset. And he says he wants to have a conversation with him as well, because he can tell that all of this is taking its toll on the children.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So anything y'all want to add to that?
I think it's unfair I think what Martell is doing is playing dirty. with the kids. He's playing really, really dirty. It didn't. I don't. I'm shocked that Mel wasn't going. I don't know if she was gonna fight for custody, maybe do a joint custody type of thing with him still, even though he was saying he was gonna ask for full custody, being spiteful and being, mean. So I don't think it's fair the game that he's playing with the kids. And that's what people do sometimes when they're going through divorce. They play kids to the left. You don't want to stay with mommy, you want to stay with dad. That little stupid stuff like that, And so I think she's in her right to go for full custody, especially since that's what he's going for anyway. Right. I don't know what the judge is gonna do at the end of the day, but I mean, why not? He's acting a fool right now and showing, his true colors. So why not take that responsibility for the kids? I like that her brother holds her down. I really, really like that. I like that she can have a conversation with him and be like, "Oh, for real? Oh, no, no." We'll have to have another conversation. This nigga done shot off. Right. I like that. He ready to go check Martell at any given, and I love it. I'm down for it. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was cool, and that's the thing, because he told him last time, "Don't hurt my sister." Yeah. Just whatever y'all got going on, I hope y'all resolve it, but just don't hurt my sister.
Right. I think Marcus's whole thing in this situation is exactly that. Don't hurt my sister. But now that she is hurting, he's her safe place.
Yeah.
And he acknowledges that at the end of the day, just because we're going through what we're going through, that don't mean I don't love you. Right. That doesn't mean that your actions don't hurt me. That doesn't mean that your actions don't affect me. I'm doing the best I can with the situation that I've been given, and I'm slowly trying to reestablish who I am as a woman, as a mother, right, as a single woman and mother. Mm-hmm. So I love that he's her safe place.
Yeah.
But I feel like Martell, being the 10-year-old girl that he is, I feel that he goes out of his way to taint everything for her purposefully.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can't see how he does not understand that all your stuff is coming back. It's backfiring on you.
Right.
You keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper holes. And now, because you have come to these babies who are innocent with something that you're trying to turn into a prejudice against their family, that's a problem.
That is a problem. That's absolutely a problem.
Because, I mean, everybody has their own opinions when it comes to same-sex relationships. And the way that I feel about it is I don't have to live your life for you.
Right.
But because you're a human being, I'm absolutely going to respect you.
Absolutely.
That's what you deserve.
Yeah.
What you do, who you laying up with, what you doing, what you doing, that ain't my business.
None of my business.
Because at the end of the day, you still a person.
Right.
Respect that. You don't have to understand it. You don't have to agree with it. But that ain't your business. Your lane over here. Stay in it.
Yeah.
And like you said, you don't even have to accept it. Just respect me.
Just respect me as a person.
That's your business. That's all you got to do. Yeah, so I think that they had a great conversation. I like to see her talking to her brother. You can tell that he cares deeply for her, for those kids, for their relationship. He even care about Martell, but he ain't finna let him run over
his sister.
That's just what it is. You gonna leave my baby sister alone, and that's that on that. So,
and anyway. That's on Barry Had a Little Lamb.
And that's on Barry Had a Little Lamb.
Y'all know I watched that video today, right?
Every time. And that's on Barry Had a Little Lamb. That's every time. When this man had his apparel shop open, I'm going to buy that shirt.
Right.
So we moving over to this podcast. So you see that Letitia okay, let's go back. Marceau tells her the podcast is the place you need to have this conversation. She says, I'm a professional. I can do it after the sun. And I'm like, no, you can't, because you can't hold water.
You can't hold nothing.
No. So we get to the podcast. So, of course, Destiny and Tisha show up first. And then they pick and poke with Kim and talking, you late. And Kim is like, oh, okay, that's how we're gonna do. You told us to show up at whatever time, that's what time I show up. You can tell Kim just really ain't here for all of that poking.
She's not. You children.
Right. Y'all leave me alone. Y'all ain't never early for nothing. So whatever. So they start talking about, they get into the podcast where they're actually recording and talking about being mummies in the pandemic and talking about all these things going on. Destiny's talking about being pregnant during the pandemic. Then they move over, talk to Kimmy about being the mom of a college graduate and how, celebrations have to be different because you can't have a bunch of people, you have to kind of break down your celebrations. And that's when they start talking about, and she's like, well, the only thing I can control is, these smaller events. I wish he would have had more. So that's why we try to have these good events. And then Destiny was like, then that foolishness at that event. And I'm like, girl.
Yeah, I was not happy with her in that moment.
No.
I don't know if production told you to say that, but sometimes you should say no.
You ain't got to do what they tell you. I promise you don't.
I wasn't happy with her at all. And like the look on Kimmy's face, it was like, really, bitch?
Pretty much.
It was appropriate.
Yeah. And the other thing that you could see was it almost seems as though Letitia was excited because she's like, "Ooh, this give me the opportunity to ask." Because I'm like, what happened to the professional within you that says, "Well, since we're recording this right now, let's not talk about this." Right?
Let's not do it.
So they go back and forth, which I think is like super hilarious that they're going back and forth on the same points. And she starts to tell Kimmy she didn't like the way she greeted her mama at the event that her mama was not invited to. And she said, well, if you show up to an event that you knew you were not invited to, whatever energy is presented to you is on you.
It is.
Yeah,
that was totally your mama's fault because your mama didn't have no business to be there, and then she came and acted the whole fool, show her entire behind,
right,
at an event,
and she even went as far to say she didn't belong here.
And not at all.
She did not belong there, and I agree. She did not belong at an event. Number one, that she was not invited to. Number two, had nothing to do with her or her grandkids or her kid or anything like that. That doesn't mean you're entitled to come to something just because your daughter's there. And your daughter needs to understand that you are not a package deal when it comes to other people and their boundaries.
No. Not at all.
She refused. She can't. Well, let's go to the beginning then. Let's take it to the beginning.
She's like, so at the beginning, she wasn't invited. How about that?
Let's start there.
Right.
Where was her invitation? Not sent.
And right. If you're going to be technical about it, that's also the end.
The beginning and the end was she wasn't invited. None of that would have happened had she stayed her black ass at home.
So you
or at her boyfriend or husband's house.
Need to take responsibility for what you caused. We're not gonna keep trying to put this on everybody else. Well, I don't like the energy you gave my mama. You ain't finna like this energy I'm finna give you. How about that?
And she didn't like it.
Right.
And she didn't like it.
And like she told her, she said, well, she's not sanctioned. And I'm like, she kind of is, but keep going. But I feel like I should be able to pick and choose what events she should come to, because there may be people there that she doesn't get along. And my thing is, I ain't going to be explaining this to you too many more times. It's going to be a point where I say, I'm having an event.
You're not invited.
And you're not invited.
You can't come.
I've already been uninvited on the behalf of Melody because Melody didn't want you at her event. Now you're going to be at the point where you can't come to Kimmy's events because they're going to think you're going to bring Wanda. So at some point, you got to you have to give the amount of loyalty you expect from everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And she don't give it. She does not give it.
Mm-mm.
So
I just want her to learn accountability.
And
And
not
they
playing
had to
the
be with a
victim.
speech therapist real quick, faster than her.
She does go to a speech therapist.
They're not doing their job. She need to fire them. Because if I hear event one more damn time,
Let me go on to the next bullet point.
I'm not gonna lie, even the way she pronounced her own name.
sweetie, I'm talking about.
Podcast. Oh,
I played that intro to that podcast. I said, you know what? What I'm not finna do is this to myself. I'm not finna do this. It's awful. The sound of her voice, the way she enunciates her work, it's. Get another speech therapist, baby. I know some good ones.
It's gonna take her a long time to undo that, though. It's gonna take her a long time.
In speech when she was at the schoolhouse back when she was a child.
That's what they were saying, that they didn't see it being a problem from where they grew up.
Jesus.
It wasn't until she got grown.
And I have a friend that's from Bessemer. She sounds nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Well, ask your friend what part of what.
Let me say this again. I said this the last time. I really feel like because Marceau said from Birmingham in the ghetto, there is no ghetto in Bessemer, Alabama. Bessemer is this big. I've been there. It's this big. So her mama might stay in Bessemer now. Them Negroes is from the ghetto in Birmingham, Alabama. 15 minutes outside of Bessemer. Okay, you might claim it, but I'm telling you, ain't no hood in Bessemer. They had doors open, car doors open. You know how we lock up stuff? No, you could walk in your neighbor's door, it wasn't no problem, baby. I thought I was in Mayberry. I'm not even playing. That was not hood at all. They got one high school, one elementary school, one middle school. That's what they got. That's what it is. Okay,
Right.
Not hood, but Mayberry. So that I really
very small. That's what you're saying.
They're very small. So they are from.
I don't know. I don't know why. But then again, when you listen to her mom, she sounds a lot like her mom. So
she sounds like she got cotton in her mouth. Lord God. Okay.
We moving on to this Halloween party here.
Yep.
So the Halloween party happens. Everybody's in their costumes,
except for Marceau.
Marceau said,
I'm me for Halloween.
He threw me out. And then he told Destiny,
the Catwoman.
You look like, so what are you, Batwoman? She's like, no, I'm Catwoman. But he was like, the cat ears are like here. And she was like, you just being ridiculous. I'm like, but he kind of right, because that is bad.
Like, go tell them you want your money back, because
like cat ears are usually like little triangles. Right. Anyway,
they put Batgirl on you. Okay,
the whole bat and not a cat. So anyway, everybody's walking in, everybody's talking. It seems like it's gonna be a good time. You see some of the supporting cast showing up, some of the other people that I really wish they would just leave at home on this show, because everybody want to be an expert. But anyway, then you see as I call it, the clash of the pharaohs. You know, you see that Martell shows up and Destiny's like, oh, you Pharaoh. And he's like, well, I wish I had little Cleopatra. Where she at? And she's like, well, you know, she'll be here soon. She probably gonna wear a cat suit too. He can't wait to see her. Can't wait.
That's the way.
And
where y'all mama at? You know where your mama did not come with you, nigga? did not come up here with you.
Right.
I know where my mama at.
Where's my child, please? And then we see the real Pharaoh show up, which is Mel's brother Marcus, in a very similar outfit. And what did Marceau say? Everyone wants to be a Pharaoh until Pharaoh shows up.
Let me tell you something, Marceau. Where you going on the road, my guy?
We got the one-liners, man.
Yeah, we rolling. This whole episode, this man was comedy gold. Do you hear me?
He said, like when you show up at the prom with the same dress on.
Okay. What got me about Marceau, he said the heat is off of me. So now I can go and deal.
So you just gonna show up here with a short uniform on? Like we ain't gonna know?
Right. He's like, I ain't got time for this. I got time to fool with y'all. And then you got the guys that are discussing going on a camping trip, and maybe they could just kind of, get to know each other or just go on a camping trip. It doesn't
or hash
matter.
out their differences.
Yep. I'm like, y'all gonna stop trying to hash out differences on camera. I'm gonna just say that. But so Martell's brother-in-law shows up and they try to have a conversation regarding the kids and stuff. He just really wanted to ask him a few questions regarding everything. And you can see that, through body language, even before they started talking, that, Martell don't want to fool with him because he gonna hold his foot to the fire. He's telling him that the kids have been asking, well, can y'all be our daddy? Because we ain't got no daddy no more. So can y'all be our dad? Martell then got upset, then threatened to beat this man. I'm like, Martell, I don't think this what you want.
And what you want, you don't want.
You know what?
What you want.
The fact that you did what I told you not to do, and you hurt my sister. 2, I'm spending time with your children and I'm hearing the conversations that they're having. 3, you trying to plot these same babies that I love and who loves me against me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm coming to you to tell you what you're facing. And you threatening me, I promise you don't want the smoke.
You don't want
Baby.
And I think he thinks because Marcus is a homosexual man that he can take him. And I mean to tell you, Marcus look bigger than you, bro. I feel like
he just chew iron for fun.
Man, I feel like Marcus is gonna lay you out on that asphalt. I just feel that way.
And Marcus got a Troy, so he can tag team.
And see, the thing about it is, at the end of the day, that's still a man.
Right.
Just because he happens to like other men don't mean he don't know how to defend himself. As a matter of fact, he's more prone
to
know how to defend himself because of people like you.
Yeah.
Right. You don't want that smoke.
You don't want this smoke.
We're not looking at a feminine acting gay man.
No.
We're looking at a very masculine gay man.
Right.
Let's not act like he up in here clutching his pearls, boo.
And let me tell you something about even the feminine gay men. They'll whip your ass.
And they will lay you out on the ground like it ain't nobody's tomorrow.
They will whoop you too. So let's stop playing these games, trying to act like this man is not what he is. He's still a man.
Still a man, and he's still about his sister. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter what's going on behind his closed doors at his house and his bedroom with his husband. You are messing with his little sister, and he told you to not do it.
Don't do it.
Because he gonna whoop your ass.
He advised
you. Have been warned.
You have been warned.
He gave you clear warning.
And at the end of the day, what happened after all that scuffle and fighting? Who left?
He walked away. And then what did Marcus say? Bitch.
He sure did.
Guess what he is.
That's what he said.
He like, that's what I am. But you ran. So let's call a spade a spade.
Right. So,
in that moment.
You can cut all that out. And what we're gonna see is they're showing next week that you're gonna see, the whatever else happened because of that, and we're gonna see more fallout happening and everything. And I just feel like every episode we're just seeing it's just so much. And I don't know. It's exhausting because I feel like it ain't gotta be like this.
I mean, if you don't want me, I don't want you. Let's just get divorced. I mean, we done dissolved everything. Let's just go on and be done with it.
Let's co-parent these kids and move on to our business.
That's all we need to do.
I feel like you got to get to the point where you're like that, where this union doesn't serve either one of us well. So therefore, we have to
peace out
of the union, and that's okay. You can still respect each other. You can have love for each other. You can love each other and just not be in love. You can
Absolutely.
love this person as the other parent of my child. You can have all kind of respect and everything. You ain't got to dog that person out, because my thing is, what are these kids gonna look at when they start getting on the computer and Googling and stuff? Your whole life is a reality show now, and everybody can see the errors that you have, done over the past years. But also, they don't get to see all of the things that you do behind closed doors to rectify those things. So my thing for him is, be careful how you stay taking all these words and throwing them at everybody, because the stuff gonna come right back like a boomerang and smack you in the back of the head.
Yep.
I just don't understand. Like, the other thing that I have a problem with is people who claim to be so in love, how you can treat that same person like that when things start going south.
Yeah.
Because you'll never know. Like, I'm one of them kind of people. Like, you'll never know who I fell out with. You'll never know, what's going on, because I don't feel like it's everybody's business.
It's not.
You don't need to know all the intricacies of a fallout, whether it's a romantic relationship, a regular old friendship, or I don't fool with kin folks no more. You won't ever know.
Because why?
Because first of all, I'm grown.
No, I'm saying, because why? Why would I share that information with you? You don't have to know.
And then the other thing, like I tell folk all the time, when you always put out the bad, then you got to come back and you got to rehash the good that has happened. Like, so say if y'all are falling out, at the time y'all were falling out, things were bad, but when things go good, what do people remember? They remember all the bad stuff you kept saying, you keep on reiterating. So when they get to the good part where you're like, I think we're gonna get back together, that's when everybody start going, you stupid.
Like, why are you doing this? Is
right?
A good look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tired of it.
I think that's part of the reason why Mel is making such an effort to make sure she doesn't turn back and go back the other way.
I think that's why she leaked all that information too. I think that's why she exposed who the side chick was. I think that's why she exposed what she exposed on social media, because she knows she can't go back. And I think that's why she did. She didn't do that at first. The first time when they were talking about getting a divorce before the other baby popped up, she wasn't doing that. All that information all that information got leaked out after the fact that she was done. I think for the most part, I don't think she's ever going back to that situation. I could be wrong, but I don't think, because it's no coming back from there. Once you do something like that, you can't come back from there, huh?
Yeah, I think this one is it. I think this is the final nail.
Yeah.
Coffin, because I think she's given a valiant effort. I think she's tried. I think she's done all the things that she felt like she's supposed to do, especially with the baby being on the way. I think she gave it as much as she could give it. Yeah. But everybody has a point where they can't accept it anymore. And that's okay. It's the thing, again, for me, is how do you proceed with the dissolution of your marriage without taking your kids through so much? Or, I don't like it when people use the children as weapons toward each other. It's just not fair to them. It's not fair to the family unit. You can just redefine your relationship. That's one of the things I always talk to, like with couples and everything. They may be on the kind of trying to figure out what they're going to do. What's the next move? And I don't really use words like divorce. I don't use words like separation. I say, all right, y'all, how are we going to redefine this relationship? Because what you have to understand is, even people who don't have kids and they are dissolving their relationship, it's still a redefinition of the relationship. Because once y'all used to be friends, I hope. And so
hope you like each other a little bit.
Somewhere, something drew y'all. It couldn't just be physical all the time. So, you have to redefine what it means. Does it mean that once this is over, y'all done, lose my number, you can't ever call me again? Does it mean that we're going to have to take some serious breaks from each other, and then maybe we can revisit being friendly with each other? Or if there are kids involved, we're going to have to figure out how to put all this in a little box while we come together and raise these little humans. And so you have to look at divorce, separation, all that stuff as a redefinition of your relationship, not as the end of it, not all that stuff. Is redefining it. It's just recalibrate. It's just like if you go and get one of those restructuring bankruptcies, the business not gone. We just had to liquidate and we had to restructure and give it a different and define the business in a different way. It's no different. So that's the thing that they have to get in their heads. This just means we not living under the same roof together. We got all these kids together, all this time together, all these businesses together. We have to figure out how to coexist without killing each other.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm tired of them, though.
They're exhausted.
They are.
They're really exhausted.
And when we get done here, we got to go and watch Married at First Sight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's about to be a mess tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lick her up. But any final words for this episode of Married at no. Love and Marriage Huntsville.
I said no.
wrong show.
Oh
Any final words for this particular episode?
I just hope that it's gonna take some counseling for Letitia and her mom to work out their issues and whatnot. So I'm not hopeful that that's gonna be resolved this season or any other season if they have any more. I do like that Marceau, he wasn't as much of an asshole as normal, so I dug that this episode, and I'm ready for this Martell and Melody thing to be over. But like we know, like I said, Panorama, Rona Jenkins Jones was here. Mm-hmm. And so they had to kind of scale back or they had to stretch things out, which is why we got like 15 million episodes before the Strippergate episode on Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because they had to do some things. And let me say this real quick, because I know we wrapping this up. I like what Mona Scott is doing and redefining her shows, because she's like, okay, what we're not gonna do is we're not gonna let these coins get away. So she done created some other shows. Okay, y'all, we're gonna be quarantined for 7 days. We're gonna shoot this real quick and then we're gonna put it out. I love it. I'm for that. I need the other people to get to some redefinitions. I'm sick of Martell and Melody and they're fighting, and I want that divorce to be over. I know I'm here, it's not finalized yet. I need y'all to go and put the stamp on it so we can move forward. I know that's not gonna happen this season, but I just would like to see the difference. And I think next episode we are gonna kind of see Melody kind of stepping out of some of the things that she would not normally do. Being in that relationship. So that's what I want to see. I want to see the growth. I want to see the redefinition, as Heather just said.
Girl, no, she dropped an album too. I was looking.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to see a little bit of that. I saw that, earlier. In last year, I heard the song is nice. She has nice voice. Didn't know girl could sing.
Oh,
Melody.
Really?
Yeah. Melody has always wanted to. I don't know what her major was when she was in school. I know she became a teacher when she graduated. Yeah. Melody has always wanted to be like, in the art. She's always wanted to act. She's always wanted to sing. I had her, and when I heard the song, I said, well, girl, you can sing. So yeah. So now she's getting to, and probably their relationship was probably holding her back from those things that she wanted, because I remember he was jumping up and down about the play that she had signed on to do. He didn't want her to do the play. That's not a part of our brand. Why?
He felt like they were talking that the play was was about their relationship, and she was like, no.
She didn't even write the play, so I don't even understand how he thought that was about their relationship.
Well, typically when they a lot wrong about everything, they think everything about them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So again, and people were talking, but she hadn't really let the cat out the bag at that point. The people were talking, people were speculating, because first of all, you stay in a small town, sir, and they see you with this girl that you don't care that they see you with, period. So there's that. But that's what I want to see. I want to see redefinition. I love Kimmy. I need Maurice to do a little better because yeah, he should have said something at the gathering. So I really need him to stop letting things go when it comes to Letitia and her mom because he kind of does that a lot. Because that ain't the first time I've seen him do that. Because when she was reading her for filth at her own birthday party, when Wanda was trying to read Kim for filth her own, no.
You could have been. You can politely leave, and whoever you came with needs to go too. So I'm seeing the fastest way. Y'all know I be looking at everything, right? The fastest way that you can get a divorce in Alabama, it may take somewhere between 4 to 6 months completely from start to finish. If it's uncontested, it may take anywhere from 6 to 10 weeks, and we already know it's not going to be uncontested. So we're gonna see 6 months being the fastest, and about a year for it to be.
Yeah, because I got stuff to do now. I know I did hear that they just filed for bankruptcy to dissolve, as you were speaking of earlier, to dissolve and reorganize their stuff because, of course, they couldn't come to an agreement on how they were going to split the businesses up. So they dissolve. It looks like they dissolved everything that they had jointly together. Right. So I did read that. So
yeah. So we'll see. We, hopefully some healing comes after this particular season for them. Anyway, is that it, ladies? Is that it?
Yeah, because I'm just tired.
All right. So we sure thank y'all for joining us tonight for our recap of the most recent Love and Marriage Huntsville. We'll see y'all on the next go round, where the next show is Married at First Sight. So we're gonna have to go watch it and discuss it and pray about it before we
pray with it. I wish I had some sage, Jesus.
Let me get you some big asparagus thing, because it looked like that's what they was using anyway.
I know. Let's just wrap some up real quick. So once we get that together, we'll put out the date for you guys to join us, and hopefully you guys, can drop in for a second. Y'all know it's gonna take a minute because it's Married at First Sight, and we're gonna pray about it. But anyway, thank y'all for joining us this evening, and we will see y'all next time. Y'all say bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.